Welcome everyone. This is another episode of The Life of Charles Schmidt. Today we'll be talking about what a day looks like for a wealthy person. Charles, welcome one more time to another of your videos where we were talking to people about the untold beginnings of you. In previous videos, you have talked about how you basically became wealthy and how you want to help other people. However, you haven't talked about what is a day-to-day looks like for you. A lot of people may be wondering about this guy has it all, this guy doesn't need anything, this guy doesn't do much. But I've seen a lot of what you do, and I think you're way busier than me maybe. So, in 3 words, describe a typical morning for Charles.
Looking forward to the day.
Looking forward to it. Okay. Do you always have stuff planned for the day? Do you always have activities?
I generally have a plan, but it evolves during the day. But I want to, as far as wealthy, wealth is a matter of perception. What's it like for me? I'm very conscious of my health when I wake up. Wake up hoarse like this morning. And last night I didn't go to a rehearsal. My friend Mikhail is in town, the Russian piano player who I love his music.
Repeat that. Go.
Okay. What do? I plan for the day, and it's conscious. It's mostly how I feel.
Hold on, you were saying I love his music.
I love Mikhail's music, and he's here for just 6 days, and I want to make sure that he has a very worthwhile experience. And just the fact that he showed up, and the fact that he played a magnificent dinner concert at Ursula's house, which I was elated with. It couldn't have gone better. He could not have played better, and I could not have been happier. So I'm still, I'm still real happy about that. So anyway, this has been a pretty busy week preparing for him to come here. And then he played the dinner party at Ursula's Monday night. Tuesday night, one of my favorite friends, Ashley Brown, who is head of the Selfless Love Foundation, which takes care of adopting children, and just very worthwhile cause. I was waiting for her to pick me up in a Rolls Royce, like riding in a Rolls Royce, even though we only going across the street to the yacht club. Looks good, me driving up in a Rolls Royce, the valet, all that stuff. But this time she shows up in this little black car, not a Rolls Royce. I don't know what it is. Looks like it might be a Porsche.
Gotcha. So I guess I'm not wrong when I said that you're a lot busier than me. Going to all those parties, going, socially active. But on the other side, though, I see that you live a very simple lifestyle. You live in a very simple apartment. However, it's very comfortable. But on your own, what is the most luxury thing that you use daily?
Well, cash. I use cash.
Cash?
That works.
I wasn't expecting that answer, but okay, yeah, absolutely. You use cash.
I like to keep the American economy going.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
I have more than I can use myself, and I would rather use it spending on the waiters or the valets, or you. Make sure you get educated. Make sure you have proper equipment. Make sure.
Absolutely. That's how we make all those videos, right? With the best equipment as possible, even though it takes weeks to learn how to use them. But yeah, what does an ideal lunch look like for you on a normal day?
Well, ideal lunch is for me to go over to the yacht club because I just walk across the street
Mm-hmm.
and they know me. And because I am very generous, they know that if I get good service, I will continue to come back because I know that I give them more than most other people do.
That's amazing.
And I've always, not 100% of the time, but over 90%, I get real good service. Makes me look good, makes my lunch much better.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel it. I want to get back to the Rolls Royce.
Sure. You still.
So it's just little black car, and I thought, oh man, you know, what happened? You know, so gets out of the black car, and I can see the little yellow horse on it, and it's a Ferrari. Holy! And I'd never seen one like this, and I thought, man, alive! It's kind of a. It's not an SUV. It's sort of a little car,
Mm-hmm.
but I look it up, and they're very rare, and they cost like $700,000, and they have a 715 horsepower engine in it.
Oh,
You know, just to go across the street. So,
that's crazy.
and you know the sound of a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
so we pulled into the parking lot, and of course Joe the valet.
Did she let you drive it?
Oh yeah, he's excited, and he parks it right up front.
No, but did she let you drive it?
Oh no, I didn't drive it. I wouldn't drive it. No,
I bet.
not
Okay.
me. Yeah, you know.
So, speaking of that kind of date they went out with her, how many friends or family members do you typically talk to in a day?
Average day, I talk to at least 10 people. Family members, I talk to maybe one a week.
One a week? Okay.
So it's not. In other words, it's some people. It's a daily routine, and
Mm-hmm.
some family members. You know, it's.
Gotcha. When it comes to your lifestyle and the people around you, do you feel more in control of your life or less in control of it?
I feel pretty much in. Should be able to answer an easy question like that. I don't know that I don't have a regimented control plan that has to. My life has to go step by step by step.
That's because you don't have a routine, basically.
I don't have a routine, and you know, like the interesting thing about today, I get up and I'm watching YouTube videos before 6 o'clock this morning, and they start with, I'm especially watching the Dreyfus School graduation party that I didn't get invited to this year.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I gave them $60,000 for scholarships last year,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get invited this year.
Speaking of $60,000,
Yeah.
how much money do you typically spend per day?
That is all over the world. Most of the money I spend during the year is giving it away to charities.
Yeah, but on a daily basis, what is an average amount that you spend?
I don't know, a couple of hundred.
Okay. Is that do you ever go a day without spending any money?
Many days.
Many days? Okay.
I like staying home once in a while.
Okay.
I don't like to go out all the time.
That's great. When it comes to spending money, though, and you purchase or you spend money on something lavish, does it still exciting to you, or?
Oh, it's very exciting. It's, yes. And every time I get something, I want to share it with somebody. You know, I want that, you know, yeah, like this camera. You said, well, cameras, okay. First of all, I start with a $500 camera. That's great. Somebody tells me, well, it's another one a little bit better. So I got a $1,000 camera. Then I have a card that doesn't work in it, and I think the camera's broken, so I give it to the kid, $1,000 camera. And get another one. And now, this isn't the one, but the one we used at the party the other night, $4,000 camera.
Right. Yep.
So
technology is emerging. You know, we're talking now about
money doesn't. It's not what it costs. It's, you know, if it'll work, if it will improve what we're doing here, or
what emotion visits you the most in terms of do you feel pride about what you do? Do you feel anxiety, gratitude, emphasis, or something else? Like, how do you feel daily?
The best thing that can happen to me is to see somebody else succeed. Somebody just like you. You're picking up fast. You're moving right along.
I think you already answered this question, but I think I'd like to hear from you. What's one thing that you do every day that makes you feel purely human?
Oh, I feel every day purely human. Just the fact that
But
I can breathe.
What is the one thing that you do that makes you feel that way?
Yeah. Breathing, eating, enjoying, smiling, talking. Just the basic things that any human being can do. It's totally unrelated to money or success or this, that. It's, I mean, maybe it's because of my age and my consciousness of what a privilege it is to be alive.
At 84 years old? Absolutely. Especially being this active that you are.
Hey, one great joy in my life is in 1970, I had never been married before. I was 30 years old. Mm-hmm. But I decided to play Santa Claus for all the kids and the kids and the brokers in my office, the kids. So I got a friend of mine who had a limousine, got his driver, and all the parents dropped off 11 garbage bags full of presents. And I ran it like a paper route. Mm-hmm. And so I went from at 5:30 in the afternoon, all dressed up as Santa Claus. And I'd say, get your kids to the back of the house. And and then Santa Claus bound around the ho, 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 come in the back door. So then they go into the next house. I did 11 houses. Well, one of the brokers in my office said, hey, I got some pictures of when you were Santa Claus to my 4-year-old daughter. You want them? I said, yes. So I'll get them. We can put them in this, one or two of them in this video. But his daughter, when I was Santa Claus to her, and she was 4 years old, is now 60 years old.
60, wow.
So,
wow.
Anyway, that's real joy for me that
yeah,
I did something good, and there's still some recording of that.
Absolutely. Do you feel like wealth defines you, or do you define your wealth?
I don't consider the wealth is a sideline to my life, as I know they're way more important than the money that I give to anybody. If I give somebody a piece of information that's valuable that they can use for the rest of their life, if they get through to them to be grateful. Now here I am at 84 years old. You heard me talking to Mikhail, tell him how much I appreciate his music, which I sincerely do. Mm-hmm. But now, outside of Ursula, nobody from that party called me up to say, hey, that was a great party, or that was great. So, you know, they're all rich people. They could have known that it would have meant something to me, but they didn't do it. Now, Ashley with the Ferrari, who has enormous money, they just bought I'm guessing, a $30 million house in Jupiter.
Wow.
But she texts me all the time, writes me back and forth. Her mother brings me cakes. She appreciates my friendship. And I very much appreciate her friendship.
And that's just really great. And you define the way how basically wealth is aligned in your life. And that brings me, to ask you, what is the smartest way to use wealth and to create a lasting impact?
Okay.
Let me rephrase the question.
This focus is always on wealth. Now, if a girl has a private jet and a $30 million house and a Ferrari, she's got wealth. But here's what means more to her. The mother gave me these cakes. Of course, I can't eat them all at one time. It takes me a long time, so I put them in my freezer and forget about them. But after I was with Ashley and her mother for lunch, that night I take the pound cake out of the refrigerator and have it for dessert with some ice cream right here. So I text them at 7:30 at night, say, the pound cake lives on. For dessert, I retrieved your gift from my freezer and enjoyed it for my dessert. Delicious. Thank you, Charles. So in other words, I didn't relate to anything about the beautiful lunch we had or the beautiful service or the Ferrari or the thing. I related to the mother's thoughtfulness of bringing her cake. So,
and you basically tell her to keep up with the momentum of being in touch with them and keeping up the
and
relationship.
they come back, oh, thanks, really enjoyed our lunch today. And I sent them a picture of the pound cake, the ice cream, the thing. So
that's great.
then she said, oh, we had such the best lunch, best company. She said, you spoiled us, Ashley says. In other words, I made them feel good. They make me feel good.
Yeah, so the reason why I asked that, the recent question is because in previous video you said, I inherited some wealth from my wife, right? And then I keep using the same term of wealth. And the question is related to, for example, you are making an impact on people. You already said, she said that you make them feel spoiled. So with or without money, it can be your personality, it can be, but you have an impact on people. So my question was, what is the smartest way to use wealth to create a lasting impact on people?
Well, I think it is to share your knowledge. Like Ken Langone from Home Depot. I met him one time. I've watched his videos 50 times, and he's made an impact on me. If it weren't for him, me watching his videos, I wouldn't be making a video right now because I know he has something to say. Not everybody's going to pick up on this.
And I think that's
we don't have any viewers. I think we got two subscribers, you and me.
Yeah, but there's some people. Some of the videos have about 7 viewers.
Yeah, that's me. I've watched it 7 times.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nobody else.
But the whole idea of this is you pick up Langone's idea. So you want to share your experience. You want to tell your life. That's why most of the videos are called.
So somebody will
Untold
benefit
Beginnings.
from it.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm asking those questions to you, because I follow up on what you said at the beginning, where you want to leave a legacy, and therefore I think that it's important to know how you can, what advices you can give to people. So I think it's really great. And speaking of advices, what would what advice would you give someone who wants to be both rich and good at the same time?
Be conscious of the other person more than you're conscious of yourself. I don't feel the need for attention. I want to devote my resources to somebody who appreciates what I'm trying to do and will make the lives of others better.
That's amazing. So, what if someone doesn't have a lot of money? How can they still make a difference in this
You
world?
don't have to have a lot of money. You will have a much better lifestyle by just doing the right thing. And if everybody wants a better, now you can say, who's happier? The guy that's got the big mansion on the Riviera, or the guy that's got a fishing shack out in the Everglades Club that watches the sun come up and catches fresh fish every day? Who's happier? I go with the fisherman that has no money.
I second that myself. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the fisherman, what would you tell the young generation about what wealth does and doesn't solve? You just give a perfect example of the one having the mansion by the Riviera and a fisherman having a little houseboat by the shore. But what does wealth solves and what doesn't solve?
Well, wealth, like the really, really rich can have a private plane. That'd be nice. I wouldn't want one. Or a big boat. I don't have to own one, but I sure like riding around in other people's private planes, which I do.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because, I think that the difference, and this question comes more as the example that you provided, that the rich guy with the mansion on the Riviera can have all those things. Can have a private jet and everything, a private boat, or a yacht maybe. But the fisherman, that boat is the only thing that fisherman has. And he may find himself with a lot of problems because, there's a water leak, he's patching it, he's doing it, and stuff. But a lot of people think that they can solve everything with money. But like you said, the fisherman may be the happiest man because he has so little and it's the best thing that he has. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, my happiest days is, but I think the key, the hardship is a sure thing. It's automatic in life. It's going to come time where there's hard, you just don't, no way out. And then there's a light, and then things get better all of a sudden, and you appreciate the better things if you've had some major hardships like I have.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that brings me to the final question, Charles, for this episode. And as always, I don't know how the viewers will see this kind of approach to those videos, but I would like you to finish the sentence that I'm going to read. And it says, my wealth gave me, but it cost me. What did it give you and what did it cost you?
Well, my wealth gave me the opportunity to share with a greater audience. If you don't have much money, you can't give much money away. Correct. If you have a lot of money, you can do a lot more for a lot more people. Now, what's the second part of it?
But what did it cost you? Like, what did you lose in the
process? I lost. I gained a whole bunch of friends, and I lost a bunch of friends along the way. For example, I was very much in love with my wife, Jean, and I just was elated. And all of Jean's friends knew how well I took care of Jean. And so when Jean died, there was 3 or 4 of them that, wanted me to be with them all the time, go to dinner, take me here, take me. fly me in their jet,
That's great.
fly me around to, and then the lady that had the jet, she saw me in the picture of the shiny sheet with some other woman, and the next time I called her to see how she's doing, she was ice cold. And I couldn't figure out what. Well, she thought she owned me, and she was jealous of me. She was jealous of the other woman who, real attractive woman, stand in front of a Rolls Royce. She had a Rolls Royce, she didn't stand in front of it. But anyway, they think they own you. Now, Jean, she was very possessive of me. Like, I remember one night we had a couple over to play bridge and everything, and I cooked the dinner, which is simple stir fry, chicken and vegetables. And the lady said, who was one of Jean's best friends, Annie, says, "This is really good." I said, "Well, it's just chicken and vegetables." She says, "Where'd you get the chicken?" I said, "Well, I just got it at Costco, "Oh." She says, "Can you take me to Costco?" And Jean says, "No, he can't."
Ouch.
And Annie never got invited back for dinner.
Oh no.
Because, it was a simple remark, but
Yes.
it was...
She could just go to Costco and grab the chicken herself, right? It kind of made sense. Yeah. Well, Charles, thank you for sharing your stories, your experiences, and all your great advices that you provide to our viewers out there, to people like me. Trust me, every day I come and talk to you, I learn something new, and I'm sure those videos are going to work as exactly what you meant to do with them. A legacy that will outlive you once you, continue and pursue with life. You're still going to
If
have.
anybody learns anything, it make me very happy.
Yeah. And everyone, thank you for staying tuned and following those videos. Stay tuned for the other one. Thank you.